Hey guys, over here at FICMRepair. Repair. So there is a video out there on TikTok that is from a, shall we say, well-known provider. I guess I don't know what to do here. I just want to set the story straight. The video suggests a few things that are just not accurate and misleading. And I think that if you are an expert in this space, or perceived as an expert in this space, or suggested to be an expert in this space, you have a duty of care that extends beyond what Bob at his garage might do or say. It's just the opinion of somebody instead of a provider of some sort. And I'll let you guys tell me in the comments if I'm being ridiculous or whatever. I actually ran this by one of you. You know who you are. And said, hey, what would you do in this situation? So I certainly did not stitch with that video here. It's just not, it's just not cool. But in the video, the purveyor of the video suggested it took 550 PSI to start a 6-liter. And that's a minor point. It's wrong, but it's minor. Said that less than 45 volts out of the FICM, a truck will start at some minor point. But then proceeded to try to start it on weak batteries, which it's called How to Become My Customer for the FICM, How to Kill a FICM. And then after it hit above the number of PSI that's necessary to enable the possibility of ignition of the batteries, just couldn't anymore, ether was suggested. So those are the things that happened. And what I would tell you is that, it's 500 PSI to start, but really, that's not even true either. A Powerstroke 6-liter will start on less than 500 psi. It's just that the FICM really won't be energized, probably because the ECM is not going to give the go for launch. But if you were to go ahead and yank your ICP sensor off of its wire, then it would just default to 1500 or whatever. And as soon as physics allowed enough oil pressure to come in to overcome the combustion pressures, then the truck will start. So like 490, 485, whatever it would start. So that's a trick if you're on the side of the road and you just need to get going. As far as saying that less than 45 volts, the truck will start, that is dependent on the health of injectors. So if your injectors are super healthy, we've seen 6-liter start as low as 18 volts, but we've also seen trucks that just won't start at 44.5, and the problem was absolutely the FICM. So if you have, less than 45 volts, and your truck's not starting, there's a service bulletin out by Ford that says, if you got FICM problems, you got other problems, go ahead and solve the FICM problems and see what's left, and go ahead and take care of it from there. So I don't want anyone thinking that if you've got, 40 volts and the truck won't start, it's got to be something other than the FICM. No, it very well could be just the FICM. Very, very possible. And there's a lot that goes into that conversation as far as inductive heating and all this kind of stuff. But then to go ahead and try to start the truck on weak batteries, if you got weak batteries, please don't try to start your truck unless you just want to become my customer with the FICM. You're making a bad problem worse. Go ahead and charge up the batteries, get new ones, whatever, and then go ahead. I mean, if you're stuck on the side of the road, you got no option. That's totally different. But if you're just like, man, I got to get old Nelly running again, set yourself up for success by making sure your batteries are solid before you go ahead and apply voltage that the FICM could potentially see, if the goal is not to kill the FICM. So what I want to do all the time in this channel is save you guys money, not give you reasons to spend more by suggesting a methodology that's going to cost you more money. And I guess the next thing is, after this truck, hit well over the 500 psi necessary to have the truck start, but then the starter just couldn't anymore. So probably it lost crank sync, which therefore would lose FICM sync. Then in the video suggests, time for some ether. No, you've already hit over 500 psi of injection control pressure. It's time for better batteries is what it is. And if we had just started with better batteries, probably this thing would have started. But there's more to, we didn't check fuel pressure and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know, and et cetera. So there's a lot more that goes on. All this to say, I think we have a duty of care when, if I post something and I'm saying something that's factually incorrect, I kind of expect you guys to go ahead and either, put it in the comments or write me privately if you'd prefer, or whatever, and let me know. I don't need to be right about anything, but, if you if you know better, then and you're looked upon as a leader of some caliber, to suggest something that isn't true, and not just one something, but like several somethings, and then to do something that, so suggesting ether. I sell engines, please don't use ether. And we're going to hear from the guys now. I've been using ether for ages. It's been well documented that ether kills diesels. And so it's like, oh my goodness, please don't use ether. And also ether, the number one reason to even use ether would be to get the truck to idle just for a second, to kick up beyond the cranking RPM number and get the high pressure oil pump to spin fast enough to go ahead and overcome whatever high pressure oil leak you've got. But in this case, the truck already hit over 500 psi, so we knew that wasn't, germane. It wasn't part of the story. And to start it on weak batteries, to even ask for that is just it's just a recipe for FICM's demise, because there's a technical service bulletin out by Ford that's absolutely correct, and that is that if your FICM sees less than 11 volts for more than a minute, or less than 9.3 volts for more than 5 seconds, you are causing irreparable damage to the FICM, and I don't want that for you. I mean, I'm FICM Repair and I know a guy, but if we can avoid you from having a problem with your FICM, isn't that better? And then the whole that requires more than 500 psi to start thing, that's just not correct. So with the ICP sensor plugged in. So I don't know what you guys think about this one, whether I've been thinking about this all day as far as what the best course of action is. Do I shoot a video on it to clarify or whatever? But here we got a video that's got several thousand views to it already. That's just misleading people, and I'm just not a fan. So maybe I'm a purist. Call me what you may. Let me know in your comments what you think. I'm very reticent to even publish this video for fear of backlash or whatever else, but I think that the truth is the truth, and we just need to step forward and say what that truth is, so we don't mislead people, especially if we're supposed to be leaders in the space. So, all right, I hope this made sense to you people, to everyone here, and thanks for listening. And if you think there's a better way to handle this, please let me know that as well. All right, thanks much. FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together. Thank you.